the worst thing that can happen to any man is rejection. When you reject a person, you are fighting the very fabric of his or her creation. It's the reason why people join occults, they join all kinds of groups. You would wonder why people pay millions to be part of clubs and groups. What exactly are they looking for? They themselves cannot give language as to their drive. It is hidden in the very creation of man. God created man to be a dependent being, meaning that God did not create man to be self-existent. So if you take away man from his environment, he will cease to exist. Am I right on that? If you take away man, do you know, it is told that one of the ways that they punish criminals is isolation and incarceration. That means they literally isolate them and they are not in touch with any human being. For a while you will not notice the effect on you physically, spiritually and psychologically. It is against your creation. God created all men to be relational beings. That's why the worst thing that can happen to any man is rejection. When you reject a person, you are fighting the very fabric of his or her creation. It's the reason why people join occults, they join all kinds of groups. You would wonder why people pay millions to be part of clubs and groups. What exactly are they looking for? They themselves cannot give language as to their drive. It is hidden in the very creation of man. God created man to be a dependent being, meaning that God did not create man to be self-existent. When we advocate that people connect with God sincerely, it is not just to solve your financial problems or solve marital problems. The gospel and the advocacy to be reconciled with and to be joined to God is not a gospel that was tailor-made to a poor man or tailor-made to a weak man. No, the gospel is for all men. Are we together? Because we are announcing to man that beyond redemption you were designed to only live drawing strength from God. If you ignore God in your life, you will start dying. You may die slowly, slow that you don't see and notice, but eventually you will die. When you take fish out of water, what happens to it? It dies. When you uproot a plant from the earth, what happens to it? It dies. Am I right on that? When you stop the birds from having nests on trees or flying in the air, what happens? They die. When you cut man away from God, what happens? The habitation of the fish is the sea. The habitation of plants, the earth. The habitation of the birds, the trees, the earth and the air. The habitation of man by design is the presence of God. Are we together now? It's important you learn that. So every time you invest in his presence, is beyond just getting power. It's like refueling yourself to be alive again. The medical science teaches us that there is a process, I don't know the name, forgive me, but that there is a process where someone who has a low oxygen level, there is a system of transfusion where they can connect a gadget, and as they drain your blood out, they pump it with oxygen. Are we together now? And then they return it back to the individual so that the individual is vitalized. That's what happens when you are in his presence. You bring all your weariness. Some of you come into his presence half dead, beaten down by ignorance, beaten down by the rebellion of your mind. But as you stay in his presence in worship, as you stay in his presence like you are dwelling now, you are listening to beyond a message. I'm telling you, something is happening to you. It's like a tanker station and you are being refilled. You will live with vitality and strength. Strength to be able to face the future. Strength to know that no, I'm not stopping on the way. I will finish. Strength. That's the reason why when you hear the word, you hear beyond the layers of a man speaking. That wounded soul, that weary soul receives life. You can literally sense like water being poured upon he who is thirsty, because you were designed that way. Are we together?